There is something so satisfying when it comes to automation and factory building games. Whether it's the thrill of seeing your factory slowly start to grow, or perhaps it's been stuck on a problem for ages and then finally getting it to work. It never gets old, and if you're looking for something fresh and quite interesting to play, well, in today's video I'll be showcasing this upcoming title called Brave New Wonders from the studio City from Naught. They have been kind enough to sponsor this video, and judging by all the automation going on all over, it looked right down my alley. However, instead of conveyor belts going all over the place, you'll basically be giving these robots commands to do all the heavy lifting for you. And let me tell you, it is some brain-bending stuff once you get into it. So this is a factory automation adventure title set in a mysterious post-apocalyptic future. So instead of just moving items from A to B, there is a story weaved throughout your gameplay, along with the characters and mysteries to unravel. But what makes it quite unique though is its main gameplay mechanic. You are a pioneer, and you get to command these intelligent automatons that are capable of following natural language instructions in any language. It's like coding light in a way. Programmers will find it very logical, but people new to coding might find it a bit of a struggle, but don't worry, the game helps you out from the beginning. If you've played Desynced, it's got a similar concept to that, where it replaces conveyor belts with smart robots to transport and mine resources. In the game, you'll explore forgotten ruins, gather resources, uncover relics of the old world, battle hostile machines, and build fully automated factories that span entire continents. All of this starts when you arrive at the local train station, where you'll start automating your way around this place. When you first start, the game introduces your character, where you get to cruise around in this kick-ass mono-wheeled bike, popping wheelies and doing sick drifts on the grass around you. This map is huge though, and it's covered in smoke and trees blocking your path. So you'll need to upgrade your technology via this tech tree to not only make it further in the game, but to progress more through the story. Resources scatter the environment, like coal and crystals and ore, these natural resources that you'll be able to process into more useful items. You can mine these resources yourself, but yeah, that takes ages. That's when the game says, hey, build yourself an automaton that lets you do the work for you. Now, I've played similar games like this before, where instead of conveyor belts, you've got bots instead, but I have to say, this one goes very deep. First, it starts off with just the mining automaton, where you'll be mining ore or whatever else and sending it to where it needs to go. Then it adds in another automaton, the moving one. Now you can move things back and forth. Not too shabby. Sure, my factory wasn't the prettiest, but these magical items were getting created and life was good. Then these trials started appearing, these challenges that put what you've learned to the test. For example, when the signal at this house is red, you'll have to deposit metal sheets into the house, but then when it's green, you'll have to deposit these crystals instead. So now these simple commands just won't cut it for something complicated like this. So what do? Well, this is where the game comes with that natural language coding element. Now I say coding, but it's not as complex as that. For example, you can type something like, when signal at house is green, deposit metal sheets from storage A to house. When signal at house is red, deposit crystals at house. Something like that. You can then run what you've just created and the game will start building out your logic. It kind of reminds me of when I started learning how to code and you press run and just hope there aren't any errors. In the game though, it will sometimes offer suggestions to make your commands easier to run, but for the most part it understands what you're trying to say. It's pretty cool. You don't have to follow any kind of coding rules or anything like that. If you want to get a bit fancy though, you can add the curly brackets which act as placeholders. Then when you run your command, you can choose what those placeholders will be. Plus you get to see a web of logic like a drunken spider making its web on your screen. Then you gotta hope for the best and hope your little critter knows what to do. This makes the game very satisfying, as a few times I was stuck for like 20 minutes just scratching my head trying to work out what the command will be, and eventually bingo, and the automaton started to do its job. Like with other factory building games, the game also makes use of blueprints, so you can copy your bots or facilities to save time in the long run. I'd say fans of automation games will feel right at home here, and might even enjoy those new challenges of those trials that make you think a bit here and there. Now, Brave New Wonders does bring more to the table than just fancy commands. The visuals offer this isometric or top-down view to show off this colorful world. I do like the animations, especially the automatons. My fiance even mentioned how cute they look. Personally, I just enjoyed doing donuts on the mono-wheeled hog, and I think the soundtrack is just very soothing and relaxing in the background too. Then as soon as you get comfortable with your surroundings, the game throws in combat. This now gives you more of a challenge, as now you need to look after not only yourself, but your automatons and your buildings too. Your vehicle can enter this cool combat mode, allowing you to hassle the hordes, shoot them down and go pew 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 along the way, but you can't manage it all, and sentries will help defend certain locations for you when you're not around. This means that you'll always be on your toes and have something to do, ranging from exploring to keeping yourself safe from enemies, and of course, the factory must grow. Now please don't look at my messy layout. I know factory building veterans will scoff at what I'm placing down, but hey, it works. But soon that wasn't enough. My energy kept running low and my automatons were just taking too long. Luckily, with that tech tree, you can build bigger power plants as well as trucks to transport bigger loads. This helps, as soon you'll be mining more resources and building more items back at your base. I do like the addition of the efficiency graphs, so you know where some production lines are lacking and where there's some excess. I also enjoy that you can relocate structures with just the click of a button. The game does prevent you from spamming this feature, which makes sense, but yeah, it does allow you to easily clean up the place. Plus, you even get the ability to add incenses to your various production facilities. So once you have those up and running, as well as you've made your automatons doing more than just a single function, your factory can be truly smart and automated to the max. You can easily just spend hours trying to find the most efficient builds for your various warehouses and production factories, but to me it was always just so satisfying when I'd come back from a long day of exploring and I'd just have all my storage warehouses filled to the max with items. It was very rewarding. Now, as you progress through the story, you'll eventually realize that you're not just stuck in America and the world is yours to explore. To get to other continents, you'll be able to construct a massive airship that essentially acts as a mobile factory. This is your first wonder of the game, hence the title, I guess. I kid you not, this thing is massive. You got an area to build your own little factory, and you can even command it like the automatons that you've built before. Just make sure that you've got enough fuel to move and you're good to go. The first place you'll travel to is the freezing cold Europe, and your factory building extravaganza starts all over, except now it will come with more challenges. I'll leave the gameplay here for now, as I don't want to spoil too much for new players, but to be honest, I could have played this game for an entire weekend. It scratches that familiar feeling I felt with other factory builders, where there's always something to do and there's always something to optimize. I enjoyed giving commands to my automatons, and the trials were a nice touch. The story mode is also a great addition, as some players might prefer working towards a finite goal rather than just building for the sake of it. Now please note that this game is still in active development, and what you see might change in future builds. For example, I do hope that UI can be improved a bit. It sometimes made the screen a bit too busy at times. And same goes with the commands, as yeah, I understand that it's like looking at code, but for beginners it might feel a bit overwhelming. Another addition I'd like to somehow see is better automaton management. Bulk moves like reassigning them all to a new resource, or just having an overview of what they're all doing would be, I think, very useful. Anyways, like I said, changes and improvements are still being made, but overall I enjoyed my time with Brave New Wonders quite a bit. Brave New Wonders did remind me a lot of games like Desynced and Dyson Sphere Program, and maybe even Satisfactory, and I think fans of those games and just factory building games in general will find a lot to enjoy here, especially if they're looking for something a little bit different. Unfortunately, there's no set release date yet, but the demo is still available during the Steam Next Fest, so you might want to hurry if you want to test it out, or just add it to your wish list using the link in the description below if you like what you see. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like or even subscribe to find more great games to get lost in. And also a big shout out to my channel members. You guys always mean so much to me. But other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.